Hello guys, today is August the 30th at 3:12 p.m. and with the election coming up, I believe now is as good as a time as ever to take a political test. And I haven't done any research beforehand. These are just gonna be my hot takes, and I'm not gonna do like any research during the test either. It's just anything off the top of my mind. All right, first question: should the president be able to authorize military force against Al Qaeda without congressional approval? I'm gonna say no because yeah, it's like checks and balances, very important. They teach you this in elementary school, right? If you need congressional approval, you shouldn't take away the checks and balance. Should the government use facial recognition technology for mass surveillance to enhance public safety? Yes. I know this might sound dystopian, but you know, you gotta use what you gotta use, right? I mean, if the government not using it, companies, other nefarious people sure are. So, government might as well do that as well to keep the people safe. Should the president mobilize the U.S. military against Mexican drug cartels? Um, if it's, I guess I'm trying to see what they're trying to ask because I think if it's in the U.S., yes, but if it's like in Mexico, we shouldn't deal with like other countries' problems. Hmm. Well, I guess like reading the synopsis doesn't really say if we're talking about going into Mexico or not. So I guess I'm not really sure. Oh wait, oh okay. There's other senses. So yes, but only if it coordinate with Mexico's government. Yes, but only for operations within our country's borders, which is what I was thinking of. No, legalize all drug instead. No, we already have agencies to address these issues. So what I went with before. Yeah, only if it's like within our country. I don't think we should go to another country. That'd be like pretty ridiculous. Should the government pass laws which protect whistleblowers? Yeah, of course. We need whistleblowers. That's why you figure out about like Boeing and stuff like that, and like also like just go like problems inside the government as well. Should there be more restrictions on the current process of purchasing a gun? I guess I don't know too much about purchasing a gun. Haven't done so myself yet, although I'm planning to in the future. So I'm not sure what the current restrictions even are. But let me see. I mean, I guess like with all the in the news when you hear like all about all the crazy people who were able to purchase a gun and like shoot people, like kill like hunt like a bunch of people, mass murders. Is probably not enough restriction. Probably more background checks. Should teachers be allowed to carry guns at school? Yeah, hell no. I don't want my teachers carrying gun. What? No, teachers shouldn't be carrying guns. That's kind of dumb. Should the electoral college be abolished? I mean, I think so. I think whoever wins the presidency should be, whoever gets the most amount of votes. That just makes the most amount of sense for me. The people's president. Should a photo ID be required to vote? Um, I don't think it really matters as long as there's like enough restrictions or checks in place to make sure that you're legit. If that doesn't require photo ID, then so be it. But should it be required? I mean, I guess let me see what the other stances are. Yes, this would prevent voter fraud. Yes, but guarantee every 18-year-old receive one at no cost. No, there's little evidence that voter fraud even exists. No, and automatically register every citizen to vote when they turn 18. Or no, this will disadvantage those who do not have the resource to obtain one. So I guess that is true. There are some people who don't have the resource. So I guess, but guarantee every 18-year-old to receive one at no cost. Although, like, I think looking at the data that I looked beforehand, that I knew about, I think like there's not really that much evidence that voter fraud even exists in the first place. But I guess if you want to prevent them and you want to use photo ID, at least give people one so they don't have to pay for it. You shouldn't have to pay to vote. So I guess if I have to choose one, if you people need one, I guess you give them one at no cost. Should foreigners currently residing in the United States have the right to vote? If you, I guess I think you have to. Personally, I think you should be a citizen to vote. So I'm assuming this is saying that they're not a citizen. So no, I think that makes sense. The citizen want what's best for the country. So all citizens should be able to vote. Do you support Common Core national standards? Honestly, I have no idea. Let me see what the other sentences are. Yes, I support the concept but not the current implementation. Yes, national standards will help improve our national average and better prepare students for college. Yes, I support national base standard but allow states and local districts to customize their implementation. No, teach to each student potential instead of uniform testing. No, my state's current standards exceed the Common Core standards. No, it is a waste of time and effort to change my state's current educational standards. No, education to be handled at the state and local level instead of at a national level. Honestly, bro, I have no idea. I I'm in college, so I haven't taken Common Core in like a while, and even then, like I don't know what's considered Common Core or not. So yeah, I don't know. Should the federal government pay for tuition at four-year colleges and universities? I mean, I'm in college right now. I mean, it'll be great if they do. So yeah, why not? I mean, it's like if incentivizes more people to go to college, just the country will be more educated. I think it's like better for the country overall as well. The rising tide lift all ships or something like that. Oops. Oh yeah, and like I guess there are like some problem with people who like already graduated, but as I said before, the rising tide lifts all ship. So, I guess too bad for you, but it's still better for the country overall. And I want what's best for the country overall. Do you support increasing taxes for the rich in order to reduce interest rates for student loan? Um, yeah, I mean, I don't think I'm considered rich. So, I mean, if you're rich, then I don't know, losing a bit of more money probably isn't too big of a deal for you. So, sure. Should the government increase the tax rate on profits earned from sales of stocks, bonds, and real estate? I don't know what the current tax rate is, so let me look at the other stats. Okay. Okay, honestly, I don't know too much about like taxes, like what the current taxes are and how high it needs to be. So I'm just gonna say I don't know for sure for now. Should the current estate tax be decreased? Once again, I'm not really involved in that, so I have no idea. Should the U.S. raise taxes on the rich? I think that currently is like, oops. I think currently, uh, yeah, like it says in 2022, individuals and families with a combined income of 647K dollars or more paid the top U.S. federal income tax of 37%. Countries with higher income tax rates include Japan at 56%, Denmark at 55%, and Israel at 50%. Okay, if you're making 670K or more, I think you can lose a little bit more money, right? I think you'll be fine, unless you live in like an expensive place. But like even then, I think that's enough money. So yeah, Hey, I'm not rich. Who cares? Should the government require children to be vaccinated for preventable diseases? Um, let's see. Yeah, I think you should definitely 100%. Like, why is this even a question? It's for the safety. Do you support the use of nuclear energy? Uh, yeah, I watched like a bunch of like Kyle Hill videos on YouTube, like science videos, and apparently nuclear energy, although it's like in extreme cases, it is like very unsafe if it, like explodes or something. It like rarely happens, and like overall, in general, like on average, it's better for the environment than any other type of energy. So just looking at the research, yes. Should the government allow commercialization of lab-grown meat? Um, yeah, why not? I mean, if people want to eat it, they can eat it. And if they don't want, they just don't buy it. No. Yeah. It's like free market. Should illegal immigrants have the access to government subsidized healthcare? I think if you're an illegal immigrant, you don't. I mean, it's like, right? Some people, they're like their own circumstances are bad, so they have to come into a country illegally, and you gotta do what you gotta do. But you gotta also understand that because you're illegal, you illegally cross, you're just not gonna have access to some resources. So no, that's fine. But no, if you think it's still better than in your current country, then you should do it. Should the U.S. build a wall along the southern border? I think that's probably like a big waste of money. I think I saw videos of like people like just getting like a ladder or something. Maybe like better border security, but like not necessarily like a wall. Should undocumented immigrants be offered in-state tuition rates at public colleges within their residing states? Undocumented immigrants. Okay, so I guess like it's kind of like what I said earlier about, I guess if you're illegal or undocumented, you just wouldn't have the same access, which is fine. I think, what are the other stances? I guess if they pay taxes, yeah. If they pay taxes, I guess, you know, you're kind of just like a normal citizens anyways. Should the federal government increase funding on health care for low income individuals, Medicaid? Um, Honestly, I have no idea how much Medicaid is and if it like is enough or not. So, I have no idea. Should the government require employees of large businesses to be vaccinated from COVID? I don't think you have to require them. People want to, since you're like an adult. You're not a child. I think child should be vaccinated. But if you have an adult, you have your own choices. If you don't want to get vaccinated, then I don't think they should force you to. Do you support the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act, Obamacare? Like, what's Obamacare? Okay, I have no idea. I'm not reading all that. Should the government implement rent control policies to limit the amount landlords can charge for rent? Um, okay, I understand like the free market stuff, but I guess like there are also cases where multiple corporations or landlords can come together to collude and just like increase the price, right? And there's nothing you can do about it, and that's like not necessarily free market if they're all colluding. But yeah, I guess like it's a very nuanced situation. So I'm gonna say I'm not sure for this one. Should homeless individuals that have refused available shelter or housing be allowed to sleep or encamp on public property? So I'm guessing the reason they refuse available shelter or housing, it might be because like it's like super far away from where they're currently living, and they like. I guess that wouldn't make any sense. Why would they would refuse it? But I guess like I guess personally, if you are given a public housing, if you refuse it, then I mean that's no tough luck, right? Should the government incentivize the construction of affordable housing? Yeah, I think there should be more affordable housing because I think everyone should be able to be live somewhere instead of like on the street. So yeah, I think I agree with that. Should the government continue to fund Planned Parenthood? Once again, I have no idea what Planned Parenthood is. Should health insurance providers be required to offer free birth control? Okay, hear me out. I think they should because for free birth control, right? That means you're preventing more unnecessary or unwanted births, which is actually worse for the economy because if people can't afford to give birth, you know taxpayers got to pay for to subsidize your living. So if we're just only if so I think anything that offers more birth control, give people more choice, is better for the economy overall. So yes. What's your stance on abortion? I'm definitely pro-choice. I don't think like fetuses are alive, but I guess if you do believe that, I understand your stance. But personally, I don't. Should artists be held to the same reporting and disclosure requirements as hedge funds, mutual funds, and public companies when selling their artwork? Honestly, I have no idea what that means. Should the government mandate that large tech companies share their algorithms with regulators? Um, I mean, don't a lot of like most tech companies like have like open codes where they're pretty much they're pretty much sharing their algorithms anyways. So I mean, yeah, I think that's fine. That's like for like safety reasons as well. Like just see like if the algorithm is harmful or not. and we need like more restrictions on, especially on AI since it's like pretty dangerous. Should the government implement stricter restrictions on the use of cryptocurrency? Um, I mean, I believe in like the free market, so I'm not sure what type of restrictions they're talking about. I think probably not. I think people can just use cryptocurrency if they want to. Should funding for local police departments be redirected to social and community-based programs? I guess it really depends on whichever one's better, and I guess I don't know exactly sure what the research is on that. It's like in some places, yeah, you do need like more police because to make it safer. In other areas, where you don't need that much police, it would be better. So it's like a very nuanced question. I guess that one of the response is yes, replace police with unarmed community-based responders for non-violent cause. That makes sense. Or no, increase funding and training for police in higher crime rate communities. I think both can be true, right? I mean, yeah, I think both could be. They both make sense. I don't think those you know, uh, are choices that like conflict with each other. Should police departments be allowed to use military-grade weapons? Yeah, why not? You gotta do what you gotta do. Should convicted criminals have the right to vote? I think it depends on what you're convicted for. I mean, if you're like a terrorist, I think you should vote. But like, if you're like got arrested for speeding, then you're a citizen. Why are you taking away your right to vote? Um, Let me see what the other responses are. Okay, so yes, except for felony convicted of murder or violent crimes. Yeah, I think that's probably the best choice here. Should the government increase or decrease military spending? I think decrease. I mean, we're by far like the most amount of money in military spending of any other country combined, and that's like mostly because we're involved in like conflicts in other countries, which I don't think we should be that much. So yeah, I think it's perfectly okay to decrease spending. And I talked to veterans before, and they said like, oh, a lot of times in the military they are forced to use up all their spending because otherwise they will like actually reduce the amount of spending if they don't use up all the spending from the previous year, which is like that's just waste of money, right? Why are you spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on nuts and bolts, right? It's just yeah, just a massive waste of money, and it's like probably going to pockets of like billionaires who like sells like arms, right? Should foreign terrorism suspects be given constitutional rights? Yeah, I think everyone should be given constitutional rights, 100%. Should the U.S. increase or decrease foreign aid spending? Um, I guess I'm not exactly sure, but I guess yeah, I'm not exactly sure how much they're spending, how effective it is. So that's definitely something I need way more research. Should the government increase environmental regulations to prevent climate change? Yeah, I think climate change is a very important issue. Like a lot of people currently don't, think about it that much because it's like more it would affect future generations more and more than current generations. But I think what's better for the country, it's not just better for today, but for like in the future as well. So yeah, I think government there should definitely be more stuff to help with climate change currently. Should the U.S. withdraw from the Paris Climate Agreement? I think the Paris Climate Agreement is like about climate change, but I think from what I heard, one of the reasons the U.S. withdrawal was because other countries weren't putting in the same amount of work the U.S. was. But still, like I think for the betterment of the climate, that they probably should just still stay in it to protect the environment, which is something I really feel really strongly about. Should the government stop construction of Dakota Access Pipeline? I have no idea what that is. Should the government provide subsidies for the development of high-speed rail networks? Um, yeah, I guess it's like I support public transportation, but I don't know about high-speed rail networks. I don't know like how effective they really are. Like because I know there's like they have like a lot of those in China, but a lot of time might just be more for show of like, oh, look how good our high-speed rail network is than like actual effectiveness, right? So, but honestly, yeah, I probably need to do some more research on that. Should the government impose stricter fuel efficiency standards on vehicles? Yeah, better for the environment, as I said before. I think I'm pretty consistent with that take. Should the government increase spending on public transportation? Yeah, of course. Yeah, whatever, you know, because yeah, because I live on like in a town where like the public transportation is really good, where like you actually don't need a car. You can just take the bus everywhere, and like the fact and like no, and because people can just take the bus, less people are incentivized to drive a car, which is better for the environment. And it's like also like I think walkable cities are really nice as well. If you can walk anywhere, why would I choose driving over walking if I could walk everywhere or bike? And local issues, I'm not too really familiar with that. Oh, here's my zip code if you want it. Uh, don't bomb me. And let me just see my results. Okay, who am I voting for? I think the only two candidates I really know is Kamala Harris and Watts and Trump and the other dude. I think he wrote like Kill Billy Effigy. It's like a pretty good movie. But yeah, I think RFK. I think he dropped out. So trust humanities. I have no idea what that is, but yeah, no, as expected, mostly Democrat. Show more. Yeah, Republican is my lowest. And who should I vote for this election season? Election. Cornel West. Who is that? Okay, so yeah, the only two candidates matter. Kamala Harris, Donald Trump. Kamala 83%, Donald Trump 29%. Okay, I guess it's pretty obvious who I'm voting for. And I guess that's it. Thanks for watching. To add, I will be making more Brawl Stars content. I think a guy in my past video asked me to make a Brawl Star Master Pass for the male characters. I will be doing that. I'm not sure when because school just started. Might be like in a week, in a month, in 3 months. But I will be making more Brawl Star content. This was just like something I was interested in. I thought I could make a video about. Oh yeah, and yeah, that's it.